Welcome to Catch Outdoors. I'm your host, Captain Rob Modes. This podcast is about living and playing down this way in the Florida Keys, a 125-mile long chain of islands. I cover my favorite sport, fishing, but also all the many things to see and do down here in that long string of islands. Catch Outdoors is hosted by Spotify, also brought to you by your favorite podcast network. So kick back and relax with me in the Keys. This week's episode of Catch Outdoors is number 142. Hello, all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you've tuned into the podcast. I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, June 9th. Thanks again to all the listeners, old and new. The listener numbers keep on climbing. Thank you for that. Please tell a friend. It's greatly appreciated. I didn't fish this week. No, I didn't. And there was not a weather excuse. Well, there was a couple bad days that wouldn't be any fun. But besides that, I had way too much going on. Family life, personal life, song life, and book life. But anyway, way too much going on. And I'm planning on Tuesday if the weather cooperates. So tomorrow's Monday. I got to get myself resituated. We've been out of town all weekend, so kind of get myself put back together. And but I looked at the weather and it's looking pretty good. So we'll see what happens. Tides aren't the greatest on Tuesday, but it's time to get back on the water. Normally I'd make 2 trips in a week, like I do Tuesday, Thursday, or something of that nature. I'm going to have to play all this one by ear. But this coming weekend, I've got to go back up to Tampa for my really fun trip stuff. Yeah, I got to go back up to the cancer center and do all my lovely tests and things, so those people can keep me keeping on. I didn't say so. But hopefully I can get out there. Well, I know I'm going to get out there Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going for that. But normally I'd love to try it too, because now when you get into the summer, fishing gets really good, obviously. And the weather now is starting to pull itself back together again. Yeah, so anyway, I'll get back from Tampa, recover, because I'll be there all day Monday. And then I'll have to run back down here, and hopefully by the following Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be doing it again. So, however, today I'm going to do some fishy talk. So about the Keys here in just a little bit. The tournament season is in full swing, and there's quite a few worth talking about. These are big ones. The Keys has lots of big tournaments. That's what they do here. We fish, and most fish for a living, and some fish for big prizes. And so, but I'm going to talk about that toward the end of the podcast. I don't participate in tournaments anymore. I did for quite some time, and they were a lot of fun. Won a few, came in real close in a few, but it was more about. I've already said this before. Tournaments to me were camaraderie. I love getting together with the guys and just doing our thing. The chit chat, the talking it up, bad mouthing each other, putting each other down, or wow, that's a nice fish, just the exact opposite, But for me, it was a camaraderie. I really enjoyed just being around that craziness. The captain's meeting to start it all off, which was usually a really nice dinner with lots of food and drink. And of course, the rules were read and the law was laid down on what you could and could not do. And then you fish for a day or 2 or 3 in some cases. And then there was a great big finish, the award ceremony and another big dinner. And that's fun. It's really fun. So they do that down here in a grand way, let me tell you. I'm also going to stray off the reservation on this podcast for a little bit. Jonelle and I just got back from Southwest Florida, my old guide days stomping grounds. And I feel like I should update you about the area and what I saw. I know many of you know that I spent a great deal of time there fishing and living there, as a matter of fact. And so I thought the post-Ian, the Hurricane Ian thing, I covered it quite a lot right after it happened 2 years ago now, September. And there's been some vast improvement, and I definitely wanted to talk about that. So what's going on almost 2 years after Hurricane Ian? There's some people still afraid to go there. There's some places you don't want to go. All right, I'll admit that, but I'll give you the lowdown here in a little bit. Weather for upcoming week in the Keys looks pretty good. We're officially in the wet season, so you can expect rain at some time just about every single day. It's beneficial rain. We need it. We're behind, quite frankly. So we could use a lot more. As I like to say, if you don't like the current weather here, wait an hour or so. It'll change anyway. So if you wake up in the morning, it's pouring down rain, don't fret. You're going to get to go fishing. Just sit tight. The only way that's not going to happen is if there's a tropical blow nearby, and that breaks all the rules. But the general rules are, if it's sunny, it's probably going to rain. If it's rain, it's probably going to sunny, and it's going to happen pretty close together. And on some days, it could go around the clock like 2 or 3. It could wake up raining. It gets sunny. It rains on you again around 11 in the morning. It gets sunny. Yeah, that's what makes for living here fun. So just keep that in mind. It's something that don't worry about it. There's a lot of people that travel here and they start reading the weather services way ahead of time, and they start, and it shows rain every day. I know, I've seen that. You pulled National Weather Service and it starts with Sunday and goes through the entire week, and you see rain every day. You're like, oh no. Yeah, it will rain every day, but not all day. So just so you know. Honestly, fish bite well in the rain. I can't tell you how many times I had a canceled trip on the west coast of Florida. It was just a messy day. And that's a little different than the Keys. Over there, when you could get one of those days coming off the Gulf, it would just stay that way. And the people go, I don't. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. You don't want to get wet. I get it. Not a problem. It's all right. And then they would leave, and I already got my bait and the ice and my, and so I just get on the boat and go out there. And the bite was always phenomenal if you didn't mind getting wet. As long as there ain't no lightning around. I don't do lightning. I have a problem. I'm allergic to lightning. I think most boaters and fishing people are. At least I certainly hope so. Yeah, I hear a rumble. I'm gone, dude. I don't wait around to see where it came from. Anyhow, normal temperatures. It's hot. It's summer. So far, it's been an unusual tropical storm season, though, which began officially on June 1. We're rolling toward the middle of June, and there's no action in the Atlantic. Thank you. I'm not complaining, mind you. Knock on wood and all that stuff. Get out the rabbit's foot. We're certainly we're not letting our guard down. Let's put it that way. But it is very weird. Normally, with the water as warm as it's been, and everybody knows about last year. We'll see indications in May of stuff blowing up and far away, like off of Africa, or we might see something down the lower Caribbean. Nothing. And I just heard the report 25 minutes ago, and they were like, there's nothing predicted in the next week. So by the time I talk to you next week, there should be no activity. Mother Nature has a way of messing with that. But anyway, just so you know. So it's kind of unusual. The moon is now in the, is it waxing? Yes, it's waxing. Waxing, yeah, waxing means it's going toward full. Waning is when it's going toward new. We just came off new. New is on the 6th. So we have a waxing crescent stage. It's a scientific way of saying that fishing in the backcountry will get a bit tougher because we're coming off a new, and we have that middle ground part of the moon where it doesn't move water around very much. So the tides just aren't really, really strong like they are, or they'll continue to get worse until we get to the full moon or near the full moon, which is on the 23rd, by the way. So as we get toward that part of the month, things will get really, really good. And we're getting into those, those nice June, July, August moons. Shoot, you can make it through winter, man. The fishing here in the summer is pretty awesome. Winter's great here because it's beautiful. Temperatures are great. Fishing can be tough. I won't kid you. I also just received the Saturday red tide report when I got back to the house. Like I said, we'd gone for the weekend. I got back and pulled up my emails, and there's no sign of red tide anywhere in the state. Once again, every week we get through like that. I'm just like, yay. Water quality has been very good down this way. Just a bit of grass, a bit of seaweed debris. I think I mentioned that last week. Oh, and the floating sargassum has been small so far. Last year we had that great big, oh my God, we're going to have sargassum in every house. They just like news services love to do, they just blew it out of proportion. Yes, we had a lot. No, it wasn't much more than I've seen in the past. But just anyway. Let's see, what's next on my list here? Oh, my new book, What I Know About Fishing in the Florida Keys, is at the printer. I mentioned that last week. That's what's going on now. I'm not sure what the timetable is and how long this is all going to take. I know that it's a bigger problem than it was years ago when I did my third book because past COVID and all this other, costs are up and labor's down, that kind of stuff. Hopefully we'll get it real soon. I'll announce the release date once the books arrive. I want to have them in my hand, and I'll say, okay, here they come, and we'll let them out. I did go ahead and add the book to the website. So it's at catchyOutdoors.com. The book is on there. It can be pre-ordered if you wish. The price of the book is $34.95. The shipping is $5. So you'll see a price of $39.95. That is with shipping, and that will be a official release copy of the first 100 books, and it'll be signed. The Amazon book will hit shortly after that. Once I get them in hand, we'll start throwing it up on Amazon Kindle. The price will be the same on Amazon, but if you're a Prime member, you won't pay shipping. And the Kindle, of course, will be lower price. I don't know how they established Kindle. I don't believe I did it. I think somebody at Amazon does that. But anyway, so that should be available. Keep in mind the Amazon books are printed by Amazon. They're not as pretty as my books. I ain't kidding you. I'm proud of that. My books are pretty. And they won't be signed either, so. Let's see. But anyway, you can pre-buy if you wish. I put it up there, I don't know, I guess early last week. I went ahead and threw it up there so it's done and I don't have to think about it or worry about it. And don't worry, I'll keep track. I'll send you a confirmation note if you pre-order that it's been pre-ordered and I have the order, and I'll save them here until the books come, and then they'll go out just as soon as the books arrive. Let's see, what else is on here? Oh, the website's catchyOutdoors.com. catchyOutdoors.com. I don't enunciate that all the time. Somebody say, what did he say? Go to page 4. That's the order page for books. More news. Yes, the June edition of the Coastal Angler magazine is out. I think I mentioned that last week too. There's a Keys edition. Pick it up if you get a chance. It's also available online. My latest song release is coming along. We set it back a little bit. It was going to happen really fast. And then, because basically what happened is the drummer that I really like to use on these up in New York, he was not available. He was out doing jobs. We got a call from him. He says, guess what? I can run it on the 15th. And do you mind the delay? And I called the producer, Billy, Billy sent me a note. I sent the note back to Billy and I said, dude, it's fine. If we can get that drummer, I'd prefer to have that drummer on the recording. So that's where we are. So it's pushed back to the 15th. Should have the mix down shortly after that, and then the song will become available. Yay. And then we'll move on to, believe it or not, another one. The official title of this song is going to be called Setting Sun. I'll let you mull around on what that's all about. Here's a reminder for the Keys folks. I did this last week, and I'm going to do it again. When a storm forces Keys residents to leave due to a storm evacuation, re-entry to the island chain when it's deemed safe, and there are services, requires a resident re-entry sticker. You can go to the tax office where you go get your your vehicle tags and your boat tags and your boat licenses and all that fun stuff, fishing license. Go there. You'll get the sticker that you need. If you're a business in Monroe County, I believe you can get it through business stuff. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I know you can. But residence is important. I mean, they're going to lock up the road, and there's only one way in here. So keep in mind you need to get that done. Let's see. Here comes some travel, birthday, and fishing commentary. Okay, that's a fancy way of saying fish and talk too. But my mother celebrated her 91st birthday this past week on the 7th. And so we all went up to Fort Myers to have dinner at the Tarpon Lodge. My mother's favorite place to go and have her birthday dinner is at the Tarpon Lodge, which is located out on Pine Island up near Bokeelia. And I've always said this, and I still believe it. It is the strangest thing to go what I consider to be kind of the middle of nowhere. Not really, but I mean, it's very remote. Pine Island is a long island. I can't remember if it's 13 or 18 miles, but it's a long island. It's got Bokeelia at the north end and St. James City at the bottom. And in between that are fields and fields of what used to grow, mangoes, and they grew everything out there. Well, there's an offshoot off the road at about mile marker 12, I guess, as you're going north, and that takes you out to Pineland. And located out there is a place called the Tarpon Lodge, which was built in 1926. And it is an authentic, honest to goodness fishing lodge. It's beautiful. If you want to step back in time, the Wells family has done a wonderful job of modeling the place, keeping it as it should be. Beautiful grounds, beautiful view. Docks, you can bring your boat there. You can bring your boat and trailer there. You can stay there. They've got a lodge to stay in. They've also got 2 really fun rooms. We like that's honestly that's what we like to do is to do the what I call the fish houses. That's not really true. There's one, I think it's called the boathouse, and then there's the cottage, and we love staying in the cottage. It's like a little 1-bedroom apartment, and it's off by itself, so it's a little more remote than being in the lodge itself. They have rooms above the restaurant, swimming pool. You can fish off the docks if you want to, and the guide access is fantastic. If you need to pick up a guide, that's the place to be. It was very busy there. Not so much what we're used to this time of year is typically weddings and stuff, but there wasn't a wedding this weekend, which is some kind of miracle. But there were tons of tarpon fishermen in there. The tarpon bite at Boca Grande Pass is apparently just off the chain right now. And so these guys are flooding in with their rods, fly rods, and whatever they can bring and going into Boca Grande Pass, which is the mouth into Charlotte Harbor out of the Gulf of Mexico, for those that aren't aware of what that's all about. And I'm not going to call it easy pickings, but it's a great way to get the bucket list of the tarpon done for you. If you're angling and you're trying to get that one daggone tarpon, that's a really good way to do it. But anyway, we love staying there, and we love the food there. And so that's what we did. We did a birthday thing. Then Janelle and I decided, since we were already there, instead of driving back later, we'd spend another night, which is always a good idea, and rest up and had dinner number 2. Yuck, yuck, yuck. There's no point in going anywhere else. If you're staying there, man, you just book the restaurant again and go right back in the restaurant. I'm not kidding you. The food is 4 and 5 star. It's unbelievable how good it is for being what I consider to be a kind of a remote area. And it's busy. You're going to want to book it in advance, even if you're staying there, because people from around the area know about it. And that place was busy. Every night we were in there, it was busy. So there you go. Fabulous, great atmosphere. The fact that the lodge was built in 1926 is pretty cool too. So I know you'll enjoy it. If you're a fishing fan, you'll certainly enjoy it. I forgot to mention this. The Boca Grande Pass tournament thing. They have a big tournament up there. Boca Grande Pass tarpon fishing tournament. Thank you. Jeez, I'll be okay. I just did a long drive home. The tournament is really cool. Okay, they caught over 50 fish during the tournament. 50 tarpon. Now there are times when it's usually 10 to maybe a dozen. And I even remember one tarpon tournament where there was only 1 caught. So the fact that 50 were caught tells you what's going on, and that's why the interest is this big. I'm not sure what causes this. You can go to the scientific side all you want. I think it has more to do with lack of pressure. Because of Hurricane Ian a couple of years ago, there are a lot of places that cannot accommodate people right now. Sanibel is still a mess, and so is Fort Myers Beach. It's getting better, don't get me wrong. I don't want to steer people away. If you call and you look, you can find a place to stay if you want to go. But it's tough, and that killed a lot of the fishing business. I remember Hurricane Charlie back in 2004. Man, that wiped my business out for like 3 months. Ian was way worse. It's wiped out businesses that for like a year. Heck, we went up to my brother's house to see the restoration that's been done, which, by the way, it's beautiful. It's been almost 2 years for him. He has been fighting this mess for almost 2 years, and he's finally moved into the house. He's not living in an RV out in the driveway anymore. Air conditioning services are back on. He's got a washer and dryer. I mean, he's in a home, which is great. But a lot of people aren't still, and when it comes to the resorts, they aren't. So my theory with this whole fishing thing is it just had no pressure. I mean, there wasn't anybody there to bang on them. The guides weren't working. People weren't coming. There was nowhere to stay. And the fish are going, this is great. I know that's kind of a rude way of looking. But seriously, they were like, hey, man, the population is up. They're catching more snook than they've ever caught before. Nice big redfish and sea trout, huge beds of sea trout. Schools of sea trout is what I've been told. And it just didn't have the pressure. And it really still doesn't, because a lot of places are not accommodating people. And now we've rolled into summer, and summer technically is the off season. So I feel that has something to do with the abundance of tarpon this year. And I've been told by other people, they go out there and they see tarpon daisy chaining and rolling and skying in the air, flashing in the air and stuff like that. And one person said, I saw them everywhere. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's really cool. So there you go. Again, go fishing. See, I'm picking on the Southwest coast. It's okay to come to the Keys, but trust me, you should go there. I spent a lot of years there, and it's a great fishing grounds. And obviously, it's really good right now. So, but I'm glad things are coming back together. And next time I go back, I think I might take the boat up there, roll the boat up there, and put it in up there, and do a little fishing in Pine Island Sound. I think that'd be kind of fun to do that again. If you're interested in the Tarpon Lodge, I made a note here, because invariably somebody will ask. So here you go. It's tarponlodge.com, just like it sounds, is their website. They're located on Pine Island near Bokeelia. They cater to the fishing folks. So yes, you can bring your skiff, center console. They have docks available. There's also a marina next door that has a launch ramp, bait, and fuel. You can go to dinner with a nice pair of shorts and a collared shirt, but you don't have to. I've seen guys come in with their hat and their T-shirts, and they still got fish stains on their front, which is kind of wild in a white tablecloth style restaurant. Well, what the hell? You can certainly wear flip-flops. It's, yeah, don't worry about it. They cater to you. So after the dinner, on Friday night, we got up on Saturday and we explored the island. I want to say this: the repairs are really coming along all along Pine Island. Pine Island's got bad places too. Matlacha is still a mess, but they've managed to. They're starting to repair the road that leads into the bridge, and they're trying to repair the area where there were tons of businesses that were literally blown into the water right there. Good old Bert's Bar. Oh my God, everybody hung out at Bert's. It ain't there. There's just pilings. There's no sign of it at all. That's being taken care of. But overall, my view of what I saw while we were there was things are getting a whole lot better on the island out there. So I also went to I want to mention this, one of my favorite tackle shops is out there. And I've got a few. Like I love Lear's Economy Tackle up in North Fort Myers. And of course, go down to 239 Flies in Bonita when I want to do fly fishing stuff. But out there in St. James City, there's a little tackle shop called Pine Island Bait and Tackle. And it's one of those cool places that I always talk about it this way. It's small, but has everything you really need to fish the area. There's no superfluous crap. There's nothing in there. There's nothing like, why is that there? That kind of thing. And they really have it. They had it all together. And I love talking. I met Mike. I'm sorry, I don't remember the young man's name behind the counter. Sorry, dude, if you're listening. But really, we had a nice talked a lot about fish. He's willing to give information, which I like, just telling you what's going on out there and how the bite is. And but the tackle shop is really great. It's very well laid out. If you're ever in that area, you're out on Pine Island, you head down to St. James City, you're going to fish the area or stay at the area for a few days, by all means drop in there because you won't regret it. They had my favorite stuff. That's what I like. Call it dangerous. These are dangerous places. So. Okay, I told you I was going off the reservation, so I'm coming back to the reservation now. Let's go to the Keys. Fishing down here, by the way, has been fabulous. Okay, I keep a finger on it and see what's going on. Offshore dolphin, crazy. Billfish, lots of billfish are being reported, especially on the humps. What else did I see? Cobia, some big cobia, but that's on the Gulf side, and of course the Spanish mackerel's on the Gulf side. Snapper. Oh my gosh, yellowtail. Great big schools of yellowtail. I never got real depths on that. I heard one guy was saying it was 30 feet. He was doing great on the patch reefs. Another guy was like at 55 feet off the edges of the patch. And so I'm like, did he move? Did he try? I don't know. And I haven't been out there. I haven't been out front since I last talked to you several weeks ago because the winds were up. I'm going to try to get back out there again because I love going out in that beautifully aquamarine water. I love seeing bottom in 40 feet. That's kind of fun. But I'll let you know what's going on there. But the bite overall has been very, very good. Now, remember, we just came off New Moon. New Moon, the water moves real good, so that has a lot to do with it. So it could be a little more lax right now, but it'll certainly get better as we get to full moon. I don't know if y'all know it or not. I'm sure I've mentioned it. Jonelle does a lot of promotional work down here in tourism and stuff for the Keys, and she puts together a calendar on their website. And the calendar's got all kinds of tournaments and things like that. And I said, give me some tournaments. I said, grab some tournaments. I want to tell people what's going on down here. So even though I don't fish tournaments a lot, I know a lot of people do. So let me rattle some off here that you might be interested in if you're down here in the month of June. These are big ones. There's lots of little ones. I don't want to slight anybody. I'm just going to give you the bulk ones. So June 11th through June 13th in Islamorada is a ladies tarpon fly tournament. Connecting women worldwide through competition and conservation, this all-release fly fishing invitational tournament for women is held in Islamorada each June during the height of the tarpon migration. So there you go. June 14th and 15th, marathon. Father's Day Dolphin Derby. This popular dolphin tournament has a check-in on Friday, fishing on Saturday, pays out over $8,000 in cash and prizes to the top 4 adults with the heaviest fish. Junior anglers age 15 and under vie for rod and reel combos. I love that. Kids love that. June 17th, June 21, Islamorada, the Gold Cup Tarpon Tournament. This is a biggie. This is a real biggie. The annual Gold Cup consists of 5 days of fly fishing out of Islamorada for the Silver King. The hotly contested competition ends with the top angler and guide having their names added to the 61-year-old perpetual trophy. Headquartered at the Lorelei Restaurant Marina, mile marker 82 Bayside, the all-release fly fishing event is limited to 25 anglers by invitation only. You can beg. Partial proceeds benefit the Guides Trust Foundation of the Florida Keys. Just come down and witness it. 5 days, people, of going after the Silver King. And you get your name on that trophy, man, that is a big deal. Let's see what else we got here. The Islamorada Fishing Club Captain's Cup Dolphin Tournament. This is another big one. Teams of up to 4 anglers compete for top prizes with a total combined weight of 3 fish, determining the winning team. If up to 25 boats register, and that will probably happen, first prize cash winnings can reach $25,000. Tournament activities are to be held at the Islamorada Fishing Club at 8939 Overseas Highway. There you go. That's just a taste of what's going on here. I like to throw that out there because, I don't tournament, but I know a lot of people do, and we have some of the most fabulous tournaments down here. There's a billfish one that pays out. Don't hold me to it, but I know it was around $1 million. Just think about that. A fish, $1 million. Yeah, baby. So anyway, let's see. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm at 27 minutes. Holy cow, I was terribly short last week. So sorry about that, but I didn't have a lot to say. Let's see. It's time for useless information. We've reached that point.
And now, from the original book of useless information.
You are a reject! You are useless! You can get a job down here cleaning toilets!
Here's your host, Captain Rob Modies.
Well, he swears up and down he's useless, but
he might be all right eventually, but completely useless.
With useless information.
Okay, here we go. This is from the section Amazing Discoveries. A device invented as a primitive steam engine by the Greek engineer Hero about the time of the birth of Christ is used today as a rotating lawn sprinkler. Okay. I'm still trying to picture that in my head. Construction workers' hard hats were first invented and used in the building of the Hoover Dam in 1933. And now you see them, now they're required. Yeah, now they're required. Leonardo da Vinci invented the concept of the parachute, but his design was fatally flawed, literally, in that he did not allow air to pass through the top of the chute. Therefore, the chute would not fall straight, but would tilt to a side, lose its air, and plummet. There's a special note under that. He also invented the scissors. I'm not sure. Get it? Haha. Yes, cut a hole in the top of the sheet. Last but not least, Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, was afraid of the dark. And so there you go. And as usual, I'm going to give you a few last words before I go. Let's see here. Spend more time at the beach. I've said that every week. Do it. If you got a beach around, go. Hey, a beach around the lake works too, okay? It doesn't have to be a sandy beach on the ocean or the Gulf. Get out on the water. Go fishing. Hang out at the pool. You know what I'm talking about. Get outside and just enjoy yourselves. It is summertime. It's going to be winter before you know it, especially if you live well up north. I know this for a fact. I went to Chicago one time for a meeting, a big meeting, in June. Got off the airplane. They had a cold front wash in from Canada. It was freezing cold. June. And you talk to the people, they oh, this happens. And don't worry, by the time, September rolls around, it's going to start getting cold. And I'm like, September, my Lord, we're so happy that November's getting close where it will cool off. So I get it. So get out there and do it now. Do it while you can. Don't delay. Play a little golf. Hang out at the park. Grab the Frisbee. That's what we would do. Enjoy yourselves. So anyway, that cold front's going to be there before you know it. So take advantage of what you got and do it right now. Take care, y'all. I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening, please tell a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Facebook page is Catch You Outdoors. Website is catchyououtdoors.com, where you can find all the previous podcasts and a schedule of what's to come. Until next time, get outdoors and enjoy.